A little Cowboys Would You Rather here. I like to have fun with this one because it gets us to thinking about some Cowboys topics in some different ways relative to some of your favorite players on the Dallas Cowboys. So let's start with this one here, gentlemen. Little Cowboys Would You Rather here on your home of the Cowboys 105 through the fan. Would you rather Dak Prescott win the NFL's MVP?
Yes.
Or Micah Parsons win NFL Defensive Player of the Year?
MVP, thank you. Let's move it along.
Oh, that quick?
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Right? Like, I think the innate nature of the way that people feel about Micah Parsons is that he is highly likely to be in that place. Right? Like, he's highly likely to be in that conversation. That wouldn't be any level of surprising. Mm-hmm. Not that surprising is the word that I want to use. I don't think that would be, I don't think that'd be wildly out of the realm of what people think is possible. I think there's a lot of conversation about Dak Prescott and where his place would be. And we understand that the MVP award has kind of become a quarterback award.
Yes.
And if we take that premise, you telling me that Dak Prescott is going to be the best quarterback this year? Sign me up. Sign me up. Right? Like, sign me up. That might be one of the easiest harbingers of success. Also, because we understand that MVP, right? Like, MVP has a certain level of winning that has to come with it. We don't be giving MVP to teams that win like just 10 games necessarily, right? You end up being in a place where you are a substantial team. Yeah, put that on paper for the Cowboys, right? And maybe the Cowboys, and I shouldn't even say this. Why am I doing this?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Maybe the Cowboys do all that and then get in the playoffs and do the same damn Cowboys thing, right? Maybe that's the thing
they
that
go
happens.
Full Cowboy.
And I apologize because halfway through I realized I shouldn't put that juju out there.
Too late.
I shouldn't do that to y'all.
They did it to themselves last year.
But the fact of the matter is you would give yourself a good opportunity to be good if you have a quarterback who is the MVP. I mean, from the A60, defensive MVP doesn't get you past the first round of the playoffs. It doesn't guarantee you being past the first round of the playoffs, I think, is the point there. And that's the difference in my mind. You have a lot bigger guarantee if your quarterback is the MVP that you're going to make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you that I would rather Dak Prescott win the NFL's MVP than Micah Parsons win NFL Defensive Player of the Year, because you're right. With this being a quarterback-driven league, how this team goes offensively is going to hinge on how Dak Prescott goes. And last year, while yes, put up phenomenal numbers, you could tell during the second half of last year, the offense sputtered and did not look the same as it did in the first 6-7 weeks of the season prior to his calf injury. So if he's out here lighting it up and this team, let's say, goes 13-4, 12-5, 13-4, 14-3, because obviously they're playing a very easy schedule.
You just gonna keep ticking it up?
Well, that's what MVP quarterbacks have to have.
I'm saying, why don't you just keep going 15-2?
I mean, yeah, why not? 15-2, 16-1.
All right.
17-0.
Okay, he got there.
Why not? But you got to be winning at least in today's NFL, now that they play 17 of these things, at least a 12-win team to be considered NFL's MVP at the quarterback spot. So
sounds good. I think we're in agreement.
But I think some people feel Micah Parsons may win Defensive Player of the Year, that'd be a lot of fun too. Would you rather, Cowboys edition, would you rather, Reg, would you rather Trayvon Diggs lead the NFL in interceptions again, or CeeDee Lamb lead the NFL in touchdown receptions?
Ooh, this is tough. This is funny because I'm going to kind of counter.
No, you can't counter. No.
It's not a direct countering, but it does. I think it would appear to fly in the face of what I was just talking about, where it's like, yo, if this offense is all right, then boom, everything's going to get going. And I guess you could maybe correlate it with, hey, CeeDee Lamb. If CeeDee Lamb's cooking in that way, that means the offense is going well. I could see instances where maybe Jalen Tolbert came on so well and Michael Gallup gave you some, and you were able to really get Tony Pollard actually involved this time, and maybe, just maybe, the offensive line was pushing things around, Zeke Elliott got going, and the touchdowns really did just go all over the place, and the offense worked. What if I think for me particularly, KG, in the conversations I've had with you, what is one of the biggest concerns I've had, particularly as it relates to this defense with the Cowboys, is that, like, defense tends to not be...
Yeah, the variance of the defense.
Right, it tends to not be one of those things that's less predictable year over year. If you can get that same type of turnover a second year in a row, like, that's a lot closer to what I would talk about as luck in these sports. Not saying that like there isn't a level of merit that happens in making these things happen. But like these turnovers kind of end up being a little lucky. We'll talk about it later, but I've started my rewatch of the 2021 Cowboys season. And I don't know if y'all remember, there were them interceptions that Tom Brady threw in that first game wasn't really his fault that these interceptions happened, right? One of them bounced off of Leonard Fournette's hands and landed nicely in the breadbasket of Trevon Diggs. One of them was like a Hail Mary at the end of the first half that Jordan Lewis very lovingly grabbed and started running the other way, right? Like sometimes these interceptions are kind of lucky, but they mean things when it comes down to these actual games. So yeah, if you can end up with that, and the way that then bends the way offenses attack you, and the prowess that gives your defense. No, I think that's a very important portion of this. Maybe more so than just CeeDee Lamb himself going off offensively.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Trevon Diggs. I would rather him lead the NFL in interceptions again, because if he finds a way to get 7, 8, 9 interceptions again this year, we're talking about arguably the best corner in the league now. Because now what I'm projecting is not only he continues to turn teams over, but now he's becoming a better cover corner as well. We know that he's really good in press coverage. We know that he at times can give up yards, but if he can continue to grow into becoming a complete corner that can still turn teams over, now we're talking about something completely different in terms of the projection of how we go about viewing Trevon Diggs in that way. Last one in our Cowboys Would You Rather here. Would you rather, Reg, Tony Pollard lead the Dallas Cowboys in carries, or Ezekiel Elliott lead this team in touchdowns?
Oh, okay. From the 817, better question: Tony Pollard, offensive player of the year, or Micah, defensive player?
Tried it.
You doing a lot there, brother.
Tried it.
You doing a lot. Tony Pollard, offensive player of the year?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you doing a lot.
Doing a whole lot.
Oof. Okay, what was the question? Sorry, I saw that text and it hit blank on the blank button on my mind. What was the question one more again?
Would you rather have Tony Pollard having more carries?
More carries, not just more touches, more carries.
I'm sorry, more touches. I meant to say more touches. More touches than Ezekiel Elliott, or Ezekiel Elliott leading this team in touchdowns?
Am I going to be the pessimist who goes, if he's leading the team in touchdowns, that doesn't necessarily mean the good thing that you're thinking? Right?
Because my man could lead this team in touchdowns and not nearly get as many carries as Tony Pollard could.
Yeah, I think you're just gonna have to go with the Tony Pollard thing, because the negative side of that Zeke, it's like when you make a wish with a genie in all these movies, and you make the wish and you don't realize what the negative part of it, and the genie always gets you on the negative part, don't they? Right? You're like, I want to be the richest man in the city, and you end up in like a podunk town somewhere. You're like, dang, that is not what I was trying to talk about. And that is in essence the wish that you put before me with the Ezekiel Elliott thing, where it's quite possible. I'm not saying that he won't, but it's possible that if you end up with that situation, that it's just like the offense fell apart. I don't know what the things that would make the offense fall apart in that way. But yeah, I'd much rather get Tony Pollard involved, if for no other reason than that just means that you're moving this thing around more. You're giving this an opportunity. And the very simple idea that, hey, you're letting a player who is proven to be good and maybe the better in that backfield, like you're allowing the cream to rise to the top, mm-hmm. right? And I think that that's something that everybody wants to see, particularly with these Dallas Cowboys team.
Ezekiel Elliott's carries have declined on average every year since 2018.
Oh, so are you predicting this, Kevin?
Well, he went from 20 in 2018 to 18 in 2019 to 16 in 2020 to just barely over 13, barely less than 14, and his yards have declined every single year since his rookie year. Like, this thing has not gone better. And the idea...
Yeah, but this is the year, Kevin.
Where he puts it all together.
Ezekiel Elliott puts it back together.
Best shape in your life season right now. Carrying, pushing more weight.
Well, not right now. You got like four weeks. And then
your man Mike McCarthy was out here saying, hey, he's pushing around more weight, looking
no, that's
real
right.
good.
But the best shape will be in training camp. Don't get ahead of the schedule here, Kevin.
Yeah, I think I would rather have Tony Pollard have more carries than Ezekiel Elliott leading this team in touchdowns. Because he's got to be featured more in this offense. He just has to be. Whether it be passing, as a pass catcher, as a runner, in the return game, it's got to be much more offensively for Tony Pollard this upcoming year. It's a little Cowboys Would You Rather right here on the Get Right.
How'd
Coming
I
up.
do? Did I win?
Close. You were close.
Okay.
You did good, though.
I don't know what that means.
You did good, though.
Okay.
Don't even worry about it.
Thanks.